Hi there, my name is Steve Gearhart, and this is the Unagi Observer. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching the video this week. This week we have a couple of things. Of course, we're going to have a short little Genshin Diary at the end of the video, just talking a little bit about leveling up your talents and your weapons, and using domains, a specific domain to do that. And but first, let's talk about an anime. I got a question for you. Are you getting a little bit tired of where the protagonist gets run over by Truck-kun, isekais into a fantasy world that has certain online gaming elements to it, and becomes a very much ridiculously overpowered individual, and goes on quests throughout this fantasy land, or becomes a ridiculously overpowered individual in a useless skill? Are you tired of those kinds of anime? Is that getting a little old for you? Because if it is, I've got a great anime that you should probably watch. It's a slice of life anime called Insomniacs After School. So before I get into the review of Insomniacs After School, I want to kind of just give you an idea of how I review things. Usually if I'm talking about an older anime, meaning something that's over 5 years, usually if I'm reviewing it, I've watched it, I'm very familiar with it, so I might watch a couple more refresher episodes to get the old brain moving, right? And see if there's any new information that has come to light since I've watched it. And then I'll do a full-on review for that. Now, for anime that is newer, like within the past 5 years, or brand spanking new anime like Insomniacs After School, where it's like maybe come up in the last 2 watch seasons, like a spring and a winter, then what I try to do is I try to get through 3 episodes. If I can get through 3 episodes, then I feel that I can give you a pretty good speculative review, meaning that these 3 episodes impressed me enough in one way or another for me to say to you, hey, give this a go and let's see where we wind up, or don't waste your time, or if you want to. So it's a kind of a speculative review when I talk about the newer anime, simply because we don't get all the episodes all at the same time sometimes. So Insomniacs After School is one of those. It came out of the most recent watch this past April season review. And we touched on the first episode a little bit over at the Anime Brief over on Anime Archaeology. If you want to see that, the link will be down below. And so at that point, that we were just kind of seeing the first episodes and saying, wow, this looks interesting. I can't wait to see where this goes. And that's how we felt about Insomniacs After School. I've gotten into the 3rd episode. I believe the 4th episode is going to drop either tonight or tomorrow here in America. So I'm looking forward to that. As you can tell, I'm kind of happy with this particular anime. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of how I kind of look at things, how I do reviews. And the reason why I put a 3 episode or 4 episode, at least watch that much of it before I do a review, is because there's so much anime out there now that they're competing with each other, so they have to grab you pretty quickly. So by the end of episode 3, you should have a pretty good idea whether or not you're going to continue watching this anime, and for reasons A through Z. So now you get an idea of like how I look at things and how I review it. Let's go ahead and talk about Insomniacs After School. Again, this came up. It's a brand new anime. It started this month, April. It was part of the new spring release, 2023 release. And let's go through some of the notes here. It is based on a manga that's serialized in a weekly Big Comics Spirits since May 2019. I didn't realize it was going on for a little while there. It's a seinen magazine. The author is let's see if I can find the author. Written by Makoto Ojiro, and the English producer of it is Viz Media. So there's the manga. So obviously we just recently got the anime. The anime is on episode 3 at this point. It has a really nice, I believe it's they play it for both the intro and the outro. It's a song. Reason why I want to say something about it is because it's actually a good, catchy little tune. It appeals to me. The band's name is, and I love this name, Macaroni in Pizzu. And they actually have a video with some of the manga artwork in it. And the song is called Enshin, or in English it's Centrifuge, which makes sense as you watch the series. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of say that the music is the intro and outro music is actually pretty good. Okay, let's talk about the actual anime itself. Let me click back over here. And so the plot of the anime is quite simple. It's a slice of life. There's nothing fantasy about it. It's not science fiction. It's not any of that. It's spot on slice of life. It's about these two students. One of them, he is an insomniac, and you get that right away. Like he tells you, he's the kind of the narrator of the story, and he kind of tells you, this is who I am. It makes me ill-tempered sometimes. I don't really get to be able to connect with a lot of people because this insomnia really affects me. I drag through the day. I try to make it through the day, and then at night when I want to try and sleep, I can't, for a variety of reasons. I just can't sleep. And so I catch little naps here and there. So he's always looking for a place or a moment where he can just kind of rest his eyes, so to speak. He has one friend who is kind of very, very secondary in the series, who is aware of this insomnia, and he doesn't really talk about it to other people because our main character has said, please don't do that, for reasons. Sometimes you have something you just don't want to talk about, right? So that's how he is. I should probably tell you what his name is, shouldn't I? So it is. I always get their names mixed up. Hang on one second. So, okay, yeah, Nakami. So, sorry, brain farted there. So, Nakami, our protagonist, is kind of just going through the motions of going through school, and then he's just, it's not the end of the world. He's not depressed. He's just like, I'm just afflicted with this, and I just have to figure it out. And I understand that I'm not the greatest person because of this, but I just please, just can't find a place to nap. That's literally what he's trying to do. So as he goes through, as we are introduced to him, and we go through the first episode, and he is getting materials for the festival. They're making a thing for the festival, and they need more cardboard boxes. And they said, "Well, go over to the stairwell in the observatory, of the old observatory, and get us some cardboard boxes." So he goes over there, and he hears these girls tell the story about how a girl died in the observatory, and that her ghost haunts it, and that's why nobody goes up there. And he's just like, a place where I might be able to nap. So he is encouraged by this, and he goes over to the school's high school's observatory. It's an actual observatory, has a telescope in it, dome, the whole 9 yards. And he goes in there, and it's quiet, it's dark, and he's just like, can I actually sit down here for a moment and maybe get some sleep? And he does, and he starts to drift off. And then out of a cardboard box, this girl comes out of it. He's like, and it is, and it is soon to be his friend Magari, who turns out she just blurts it out. Yeah, I'm an insomniac too, but I don't tell anybody. I want it to be kept a secret. Please don't tell anybody because I was ill as a kid. Yes, we're building up towards that tragic possible thing that might happen later on in the series. But she says that she was in the hospital and she doesn't want people to worry about her, but she just can't sleep just like him. So they find this common bond and they kind of gel together. They're actually, friendly towards each other and friendly in a friend kind of way, not anything romantic. That comes a little bit later. And they get along. And they discover that this is a good event. This is something that is worthwhile. That two people that can connect on this kind of thing, and they can agree that maybe the observatory is something that the two of them can use this to try and catch some Z's. And so the rest of the anime goes along in that vein. And as it turns out, since they're insomniacs, they get along. They're friends. They go, well, why don't we just hang out outside, so we can't sleep. Why don't we just go outside and, at night and just hang out after school? Okay, it sounds like a good idea. So the two of them do that, and he brings along a camera, and the camera becomes more important in episodes 2 and 3. And he brings out the camera, and she's just like, well, why'd you bring the camera? And he goes, well, in case, the police stop us or an adult stops us, and I can say, well, we're doing a project for school and we're taking pictures of the stars. Ah, good idea. So it's camouflage of sorts. And I believe he actually uses that word. So he goes on, and they go on, and they have this really nice night together. And again, this is not something where it turns into a budding romance. There's a little bit of that, but it's not slapping you in the face with a 2x4 with it. So there's a moment where a bicycle cop is riding around, and he thinks he sees them, and they hide, and they laugh, and they continue on. So then the next 2 episodes, I don't want to spoil it for you because you really should watch it. It has to do with the observatory itself and how they can continue to use the observatory to their own ends, even when they're found out. And that's all I'm going to say. So, should you watch this series? I know I didn't say a whole lot about it, and there's a reason for that because I don't want to give anything away. Yes, you should. It's a healing anime. It turns into a healing anime by the end of episode 2 and episode 3. You're going to be like, wow, I got some serious Yurick or laid-back camp vibes going on here. Not necessarily because it's about camping, but it's about the act of doing something that is healing. And because they need to heal. They're having trouble sleeping and they're trying to figure it out. And it's a good pace. Nothing's thrown into your face immediately like, oh my god, she's going to die, or anything like that. You get an additional character that comes in that is helpful. And again, I don't want to spoil anything. And so yeah, you should watch this anime. Give it a go. It's on episode 3. 4 is probably going to drop as of the filming, which is Sunday, April 30th. So I think it's actually going to drop tomorrow, May 1st in America. So anyway, so yeah, give it a watch. Now, as you can tell, I'm kind of excited about this, and I haven't really told you a whole lot, but I'm telling you, watch it. And to be transparent here, there's a couple reasons. First of all, I don't sleep myself. I count getting 5 hours like the equivalent of getting 8 hours. So if I can get 5 hours of sleep, that's actually really good for me. I usually am about 3.5 to 4 hours of sleep at night. I usually don't go to bed until somewhere between 3:30 and 4:30 a.m. And I'm usually up for work by 7:30. So anyway, so there's that. So I kind of connect with that, with those things, and how how the anime really does represent the problems of insomnia, and how people like me deal with that or try to deal with that. The other part of it that really spoke to me, is particularly in the first episode, was when they're outside at night and there's nobody else out there, and they have this feeling of the world belongs to us. It's very calming, it's adventurous, it's exciting, all those things at the same time. And when I was younger and did that, where I would sneak out at night and late at night, and it just seemed like everything was mine, and it was a secret world, and I got to see and do things that other people weren't able to do at that time. It's almost magical. So I got that feeling, and again, the anime did a really good job in portraying that feeling that I had as a kid. Sometimes early in the morning I feel like that when I'm can't sleep, and I'll go out and I'll take a walk, and there's nobody out on the streets of Baltimore. It's just kind of like, wow, this belongs to me. So the anime really does speak to me. And then the third aspect of it is a particular hobby of mine, which is photography. And the photography is becoming more and more important as the series goes on. So, just a little bit transparent. Maybe I'm projecting my excitement onto this anime, but I'm hoping that you would like it too. So please give this a try. Again, if you want to wait to binge it, I think it's a 12 episode series. The manga is ongoing, and I think there's 12 volumes published. And so if you want to get into it. I wholeheartedly think you should, and I think the series is going to go to some really nice, wonderful places. So there you go, Insomniacs After School. All right, we are at Genshin Diaries. I'm going to keep it a little bit short today because this is something that I think most of us know. But in case you're new to Genshin Impact, There's a whole bunch of tutorials on this, so I'll just briefly touch on it, which has to do with the domains, which is where you can get materials that will level up your weapons and also level up your talents, both of which are very important. You spend, various amounts of resin to do these things. Are usually around 20 resins. to go in there to get the thing done, to defeat the monsters, to get the thing so you can level up, so to speak. In there, it usually tells you what kind of characters you might be helpful to you to beat the monsters: cryo, pyro, electric, whatever. And it also gives you, if you touch on the little round white button with the eye in it, it'll tell you what the monsters are and what level they are at. And also you can choose what level you want to fight in, which is very important because you don't want to put a low-level character into a level 90 fight. That's just going to end badly for you. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to show one particular domain that I'm trying to level up a particular character. And so I think it's like I need the prophecy or guide to praxis or something like that. And those are at the domain in Sumeru that's called Steeple of Ignorance. And so you're gonna go up against. I'm gonna go up against basically two ruin guards. The one that's shaped like the Earth one, that is shaped kind of like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the other one that flies around and shoots machine guns at you. So I need to only go in there about 2 or 3 times to get what I need. I'm not going to show you the first effort, and then we're going to move on. So if you have not been to the Steeple of Ignorance yet and you haven't opened that up, you'll see where it is. You'll see what I'm fighting and what is helpful. So yes, I hope this is helpful to you. And at this point, this is where I'm going to say good night, goodbye, good morning, wherever you are. Please be well. Do what you got to do to stay healthy, because I love you guys and I want to meet you in person at various conventions. So let me shut up now and roll the rest of the video.
I do hope the Knights of Favonius are all working hard. to oblivion! Illusion shattered! Your life is mine. Don't waste my time.